Another visit to the Aaron Clark Activity Center, and Bill Shepherd Court provides another top 10 matchup on ISC and my Indy TV. Two teams that at this time next year once again be conference rivals. It is Lawrence North and Carmel, number 6 and number 7 in the state. Tonight's game on ISC and my Indy TV. Presented in part by Banks and Brower. For every hour, there's Banks and Brower. By the Ed Martin Automotive Group, the only name you need to know. By Galitko and Daly, we go to work when you can't. Learn more at IndianaWorkers.com. By Lawrence Township Schools. Learn more about Lawrence Excellence at LTSchools.org. By LD Smith Plumbing, the big dogs of plumbing. By Unranked Hoops, Indy's first Euro-style basketball academy. Check out UNRNKD.com. And by Wabash College, schedule your visit today at wabash.edu. Alongside Hall of Famer Dave Nicholson, my name is Greg Rakestraw. Thank you so much for joining us. And Coach, for Carmel, the hits just keep on coming. It is a 4th consecutive home game against a team ranked in the top 6 in the state.
Probably very few, if any, schools in the state have more tradition than these two schools. Both have multiple state championships, and they, each year, they just keep rolling them out. They're very competitive. They have great athletes, great coaching. And tonight, 11-3 on the Carmel and 15-2. And they both play a very, very strong schedule.
The last time Carmel won a state championship, they beat Lawrence North in the championship game some 5 years ago as they go to opposite ends of the bracket. Again, Carmel's losses have all taken place here at home and have all taken place in the last 3 weeks. They lost to Plainfield by 3. They lost to Pike by 6 in overtime. Lost to number 1 Fishers by 3 on Saturday night. Those are all 3 teams that are in the top 5 in the state. Lessons learned for Ryan Osborne's team in those 3 games.
I was talking to Coach just briefly while the JV game was going on, and he said that very thing. He said if we can keep the kids understanding that we can really learn the caliber of teams that have beaten us, and we learn from that and grow, it can really benefit us coming up in the tournament.
On the guy that we're going to point out for Carmel, we could talk about several of their rotational players, but what a weekend it was for Cash Daniels. 25 points in a win at Ben Davis on Friday night. 23 points in the loss to Fishers on Saturday night. Transfer from Cathedral. He has made all the pieces fit better for this team this year. But again, he went off offensively last weekend.
Well, there's no question. He filled a void for the Carmel Greyhounds, and he did it in great fashion. And he's settled in, and he's playing his best basketball right now, in my opinion. The first 3 or 4 or 5 games, he was getting the feel, new teammates, new school. But Cash has really come on and played very well. And he's a complete point guard. You can't call him just a point guard because he's also a scorer. A lot of times your point guard just facilitates and gets the ball in the right place at the right time. But Cash does that very well. He leads the team in assists, but he also scores. He's scoring at about 14.6 points a game, I believe. So he's a complete point guard.
On the flip side for Lawrence North, they come in after what was a very busy stretch, followed by a stretch of inactivity. They timed a 12-day break pretty well around the weather and the snow from about 10 days ago. That was on the heels of playing 6 times in 11 days. 4 of those on their way to the Marion County Championship, where they defeated Pike in overtime 58-55. We saw, in fact, on IS, we've had both of their losses. We've seen Lawrence North so much. One was against South Bend Riley in Kokomo. They ended up finishing 3rd in that tournament. That came with an asterisk. Cameron Webster was sick. Their point guard didn't play in that game. No asterisk other than Plainfield really being good and LNBB being tired. Lost to Plainfield January 20th, 65-62. But, Dave, they've been off for 12 days. What does that do for a team going into the final month of the season?
Well, it can be a plus if you've been banged up a little bit, maybe recovering from illness or injury. You can maybe even put in a new wrinkle or two. You don't change a lot at this point in the season as far as the offensive sets or the defenses that you're going to use, but usually getting ready for tournament time, you take an opportunity to just put in a couple of special plays, and we always did that, and sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. The other thing it can do, your kids, you got to be careful as a coach, and I'm sure Coach did this, not to overwork your kids on those 10 days off. Everybody at this point in the season is cutting back on practice time. You want your kids fresh, and you certainly don't want to get an injury this time of year.
Oftentimes when you have snow days, you're not in class for 3 days, coaches may be fighting for practice time. That might have been the one time where Chris goes, boys, we'll see you on Thursday. Just to stay off your feet. We'll figure this out when you get back to action.
Good thinking, and I'm sure that he did take advantage. And as I say, everybody's cutting practice time down.
Brennan Miller, he has been a young man that's been a part of the rotation at Allen since his freshman season. He is averaging a double-double, 17.5 points, 10.5 rebounds a game, 3.5 assists a contest as well. I think he's a no-doubt Indiana All-Star, going to play at SIU Edwardsville. And really, this offense is not exclusively him, but he's kind of the fulcrum point for their starting five.
He's the center point of it, and he steps out and takes some threes. See, I got him for 6 out of 20 here on the year. And this is one thing that the entire Lawrence North team does. They shoot the three, a high volume, and they make a high volume. They're shooting threes at about 38%, and it's not just one guy. It's about 5 guys that can go up and shoot it above 40% on any given night.
Good look at Brendan Miller on your screen. The other number that's very impressive about this Lawrence North team, they take care of the basketball. That is after graduating Stink Robinson, who was the starting point guard for most of this season. Bentley's unfortunately out with an injury currently, but LN is turning it over just over 9 times a basketball game. A winning number for a team as, had 14 straight winning seasons and a couple of wins away from having 17 or more for 12 consecutive seasons. Again, a lot of commonalities between these two longtime rivals. We have an extended pregame show that's nothing new for us lately on the ISC Sports Network. This time the culprit, double overtime in the JV game. We'll take this 2-minute timeout. We'll get coaches' keys to victory for each of these two teams. That's when we come back as you're watching on ISC and MyIndy TV.
You know, Wabash is a school for people who are serious about reaching their full potential. If you really want to be challenged, you really want to reach your goals, you really want to take the road less traveled, if you're the kind of person that wouldn't have it any other way, we have a culture here where people outwork and outlove every day. And if that's what you're looking for, then we're your place.
Have you been injured at work? Visit your work injury lawyers at indianaworkers.com. We help injured workers. For a free consultation, go to indianaworkers.com, a division of Galitko and Daly. We go to work when you can't. Have you been injured at work? Visit your work injury lawyers at indianaworkers.com. We help injured workers. For a free consultation, go to indianaworkers.com, a division of Galitko and Daly. We go to work when you can't.
Hey, it's Query.
And I'm Schultz.
And each and every week in podcast form, video form from the ISC Sports Network, we do Query and Schultz, brought to you by Bailey & Wood, the fine folks south side of Indianapolis, but serving all of central Indiana for the best mortgage rates.
And, of course, we record right here at Chilly Water Brewing Tap Room and our friends at Hoagies and Hops, 42nd and Boulevard, right here in Indianapolis. We're talking Colts, we're talking Pacers, we're talking Hoosiers, we're talking Boilers, we're hanging with you.
We talk the tall and the short of it, right, is what we do.
Whatever, man. Every Tuesday night, 7:30, right here on the ISC Sports Network.
Your life is on the go. Now your viewing habits can be on the go. With the ISC Sports Network app, your team is at your fingertips. You can download years' worth of content from the ISC Sports Network library. High school, college, special events, weekly and monthly shows, wherever you find your favorite app. And you can always find out more information at iscsportsnetwork.com.
Back inside the Eric Clark Activity Center and on Bill Shepherd Court. Thanks for joining us on ISC and MyIndy TV. Again, counting down to tip-off about 20 minutes away between Carmel and Lawrence North. Thank you so much for joining us. Greg Rakestraw, Dave Nicholson with you. Coach, you got keys to the game. What are you focused on for tonight's contest?
a couple of keys for Carmel, few fouls, and particularly I think Harold has got to be careful. He's going to probably be matched up with Miller, not get himself in foul trouble. He's such a key there. And I think Carmel needs an early start. If Lawrence North jumps out ahead, it might be tough to catch up in the ball game. And for Lawrence North, I think they should own the bank boards. That would be a long way toward a victory. And defensive patience. Carmel doesn't play at the pace they have in past years and slow it down and pass it 20 times, but they still are very patient on the half court. And sometimes you just get tired of playing defense and you have one letdown, and that's when you get burned.
As far as what's left for each of these two teams, after tonight, Lawrence North has 5 games remaining on their schedule. Frankly, they've got an extra game to play with. But again, just from a timing standpoint, not sure they will get to said game. Ben Davis is their next opponent. We will have that one for you next Friday night on both ISC and my Indy TV. Then it's a quick trip up north to play Elkhart on Valentine's Day. Then it's their MIC finale against Pike, and there's a good chance that is for the MIC Championship, also a game that we'll feature on the ISC Sports Network and my Indy TV. February the 20th, LN then hosts HSC and Franklin Central to wind down the regular season. As far as Carmel is concerned, they have 6 games left to play. Again, they've got an extra game to work with as well. Then the game against Crown Point, which would have been another classic game in terms of schedule. That game was snowed out at Southport back on December the 13th, and unfortunately, kind of the two-team schedules really didn't kind of fit with each other, trying to find a different game. So I'm not sure if at this point Coach Osborne will add an extra game for Carmel. They go to Brownsburg, which is a snow makeup game from 2 weeks ago on Tuesday. Go to Hamilton Southeastern on Friday. Back here for Avon. Dave and I have that one for you next Saturday. Then it's at Warren Central, at Providence, and home for Addicts. And guess what? Dave and I have that one too on February the 24th. That'll be senior night and the regular season finale for the Carmel Greyhounds. Some of the numbers for these two teams. Lawrence North, 68 points a game. Their opponents scoring 57. LN shooting 51% from the floor, as Dave mentioned, 38% from 3, and they make 6.5 threes a contest. 79% from the line. That's a staggeringly good number for LN. 15 assists, 9 turnovers, and 7 steals a game. For Carmel, they're scoring 50, which is way up for them. They're playing at a faster tempo. Opponents are scoring 52 a contest. Like LN, Hounds are shooting 51% from the floor, nearly identical in terms of threes. 37% from 3, 6 threes a contest. Carmel 73% from the line. 13 assists a game for Carmel, 12 turnovers, and they steal it 6 times. Other numbers to share, and they are, again, to show you how identical these two teams, as you see coaches Osborne and Giffen on your screen. Lawrence North, 6th in the USA Today poll, 6th in the coaches poll, 7th in the Sagarin rating. Carmel, literally the exact opposite. 7th in the USA Today, 7th in the coaches poll, and 6th in the Sagarin ratings. Kids, you can make that 6-7 hand gesture. Right now, it's perfectly okay. Now is the time to do that. We'll take a 1-minute timeout. When we come back, I'll talk about our upcoming schedule on the ISC Sports Network. Now that we have hit the final month of the regular season, basically, we got 3 more weeks of hoops left to go after tonight before we get to postseason play. We'll talk about that next. We're back in 60 on ISC and my Indy TV.
Your home uses water all day, every day. So when plumbing problems arise, you need them fixed fast and right. The LD Smith Plumbing crew can handle anything, from outdoor plumbing repairs to everyday water problems. Plumbing may not be pretty, but we're pretty darn good at it, and we'll always give you a fair price.
That's our dirty, stinking, honest LD Smith Plumbing promise.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking, honest.
Call today and save up to $300 on a new water heater installed.
And gets the highlights. Now he takes the look away and he puts it home. Take a moment to thank our tremendous ISC Sports Network crew. Thanks to Jordan Shue, Carlos Alarkin. Thanks to Chase Eisnagel, Eric Kinnett, Thanks to Greg Sharden. Doing a great job making sure our signal gets to you on this Thursday night. And yes, this is a game that would be normally a Friday or Saturday game, but it is girls sectional week. In fact, you're going to simply say it's sectional week here at Carmel because the swimming sectionals are taking place at the world-class natatorium behind us, which means there is nary a parking spot to be found, about a half a mile around the building. So you combine those two things, it's why maybe this crowd tonight is not going to match what was absolutely a sold-out crowd on Saturday for the game against Fishers. The girls sectional is back tomorrow night here in this building. Championship is on Saturday night, and we will be here for that one. Myself and Kristen Hazley will have the call. Again, semifinals in this building tomorrow night. Hamilton Southeastern versus Noblesville, Carmel and Zionsville. And Dave, this is unique where there's probably a pretty clear-cut favorite this year in the girls basketball sectional. Hamilton Southeastern may not be as good as they were last year when they were ranked nationally and didn't lose until the semi-state final to Warsaw, but HSE is the likely favorite over the next couple of nights here.
Yeah, as you say, Greg, normally that's not the case. There's normally at least 3 teams in that sectional on a given night can beat the other one. But if you look at this year's season, a couple schools like Noblesville, Westfield had to kind of start over this year.
Yep.
And they've been awfully strong, but no question Hamilton Southeastern is going to be the favorite. But you and I know in sectional time there's always several upsets.
Here is our upcoming schedule on ISC and MyNDTV. We do not slow down in the month of February, and frankly, some snow out games kind of affected our schedule as well. We got 3 games for you next week, and how about this one on Tuesday night? Mount Vernon and Pike, the likely Mr. Basketball and Luke Erdl against a Pike team that, again, if there is a team that maybe matches up best with Fishers, it might be Jeff Teague's Pike Red Devils.
Physically, you have to think Pike is as talented as any team in the state of Indiana, and they've gotten better. I've seen them early and I've seen them recently, and I felt they have taken a giant step of blending together and really and if they get together totally as a team, they're going to be awfully tough.
Next Friday night, we'll see these Lawrence North Wildcats when they take on Ben Davis. And more or less, the next 2 Friday nights after a rare Friday night off for us tomorrow night will more or less be the mixed semifinals and championship game. Even though uniquely, Pike has not played a league game. That changes tonight. They play Ben Davis. Pike's last 6 games, 5 of them are their MIC League contests. But we kind of think, given how the talent has stacked up this year, Ben Davis and LN next Friday night. If LN wins that one, likely LN and Pike playing for the conference championship. The next Friday night will feature both of those games for you on ISC and MyNDTV. And then kind of note for Carmel as we get to our 3rd game next week. We've talked about this hit list that Carmel has had in terms of the great competition they've played to this point. I will say this, the schedule takes a bit of a turn after they get past this game. Brownsburg, HSE, Avon, Warren, Providence, Attucks. Frankly, I think you like Carmel's chances in all 6 of those games after tonight.
All those are very winnable, and as you say, they need to take a breath before the sectional. And that, I don't mean they're not going in to win, but there's no question those teams do not quite measure up to the teams they've had to play. And, of course, they lost to 3 great teams, as you mentioned. Plainfield's an awfully good team.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Pike and Fishers rounding out that group as well. By the way, Sectional 8 will be at Noblesville this year. On the boys' side, it alternates between the Mill and here at Carmel. So this year, it goes to the Mill. And a couple of extra games that we have just added as of this week because, again, frankly, much like you at home, our schedule's been more altered by snow this winter than it has been in quite some time. So a couple of extra games have been added for our schedule at the end of February. February the 25th, we're going to have one of the best teams in 2A. Centerville makes the trip towards Indianapolis. They will take on Pendleton Heights. That's on a Wednesday night. We're looking forward to taking our MyNDTV cameras up to the home of the Arabians for the first time. And then a place that we know very well, Southport Fieldhouse, but rarely do we see the Southport Cardinals in Southport Fieldhouse. We will remedy that on February the 26th when they play host to Lawrence Central. So a couple of games that have been added to our calendar over the course this week. Wanted to make sure we shared that with you. We'll take this quick timeout. When we come back, we'll roll through the starting lineups for tonight's contest as we are counting you down until tip-off, which is now less than 10 minutes away. It's Lawrence North and Carmel, a pair of teams in the top 10 in the state of Indiana. We've said a lot of that as of late, right here on ISC and My Indy TV.
At the University of Indianapolis, your education is just the beginning. Small class sizes means that everyone gets to know you, your goals, your dreams, and your vision for the future. UIndy empowers you with real-world, hands-on learning projects that transforms your potential into purpose. And it's just minutes from downtown Indianapolis, connecting you to our alumni network, internships, and careers. How's that for opportunity? So, are you in? Your future begins at the University of Indianapolis.
There we go, baby. Oh, my God. Race to the other end, and he punches it down. Go. Back in. Takes it in. Little energy, little. Not the entire game. Touchdown. He's got it. He's up. Still going. Throws it up, and Hooks will throw it down.
Back on ISC and My Indy TV, Greg Rakestraw, Dave Nicholson again. Double overtime in the junior varsity game, not to mention teacher recognition night, so a bit of a delayed start. We'll tip off right around 8 o'clock on this Thursday night here at the Eric Clark Activity Center and on Bill Shepard Court. Starting lineups are in, and let's get to the visitors in Lawrence North. And frankly, these teams really haven't changed their starters much this year, especially LM. They've only had to change their starters due to illness and or injury. It is their top 5 scorers. In fact, that's the case for each team. So starting 5 for Lawrence North, Brennan Miller, 6'7" senior, 17.5 points, 10.5 rebounds a game, 55% from the floor, 77% from the line, and he's averaging just over 3 assists a contest. Cameron Webster, 5'11" senior, 15 points, 2 rebounds, just shy of 5 assists a contest, 54% from the floor. Does not take a lot of threes, but he makes them when he does. 7 of 18 from three-point range. And Webster pretty good at taking the ball away as well. Just shy of 3 steals a game. Rounding up the starting 5, Shannon Gilbert, 6'5" sophomore, transfer from Warren Central. Just a tick below 10 points a contest at 9.9 a game. 2.8 rebounds a contest. He is shooting a solid 36% from 3. And again, you're going to hear that constantly, what Dave talked about. It's everybody on the floor that can knock down threes for Lawrence North. Gilbert's also fantastic at the line. He is 18 of 19 limited tries on the season. Duke Carnes, a 6'1" senior, 9 points, 2.5 rebounds a game, 53% from the floor. Duke 41% from three-point range and shooting just above 50% from the free throw line on the season. Rounding out the starting 5 is Britton Thomas, a 6'3" senior, 7.5 points, just shy of 3 rebounds a game, 53% from the field, 41% from three-point range. Britton does not get to the line often. He is 4 of 6 at the stripe. As far as LN's bench is concerned, you will definitely see Davis Baker. He really is more like a 6 starter. Then you'll see Darian Prather. His future is in football. He will be a 3-year starter at quarterback for LN. He'll be a junior next year. The sophomore is a solid role player on the basketball team. 2.5 points, a rebound a game, and 9 of 12 from the free throw line. For the Greyhounds of Carmel, they are led by likely Indiana All-Star and Bellarmine-bound senior 6'8" Evan Harrell. 17 points, 8 rebounds a game, 60% from the floor, and 77% from the line. The point guard, as mentioned, is Cash Daniels, 5'10" junior, 14.5 points, 3.5 rebounds, 5.5 assists a game. But honestly, those numbers are great. He's been playing even better as of late, 71% from the line. Julian Vogt, his development has been a key for Ryan Osborne's team too. 6'6" senior, 9 points, 2 rebounds a game, 50% from the floor, and that translates to the three-point line as well. 50% from the outside the arc this season. Julian 4 of 4 from the line. We referenced Darian Prather's football skills for LN. Aiden Dickerson has them as well for Carmel. Not just a two-way player, frankly, a two-way starter in terms of both basketball and does so as a defensive end / linebacker on the football team. Aiden 6'4", 6 points, 5 rebounds, 54% from the floor, 35% from 3, and 6 of 12 from the free throw line this season. Ben Bremer rounds at the starting 5 for the Greyhounds, 6'1" senior, 6.5 points, 2 rebounds a contest, 52% from the field, 40% from 3, and 19 of 24 from the line. Carmel will go a little bit deeper to their bench, but frankly, they'll keep it pretty tight. JaMichael Fountain will play starters minutes off the bench. He's going to play at Manchester next year, 5'11" senior. Vince Nover has kind of seen his minutes kind of whittled down a little bit as the season has gone along. You'll see Adler, Cole, Delancey, Fant, and if Harrell and Dickerson both get in foul trouble, you'll see the 6'11 sophomore and Mark Shostak. And, the last time I remember kind of intently watching a JV game because of the size of a player, that was DeJuan Jones when he played at Ben Davis. We're going to play in the National Football League. Having a 6'11 young man on the JV kind of catches your attention, doesn't it?
It does, and he's developed a lot since the start of the season, but if he puts in the time, and the coaches says he does put in his time, he's going to be a weapon the next 2 years.
Let's reference our officials for tonight's contest. We got an outstanding crew, as we always do here at Carmel. Bernard Weatherly will be our lead official. Chad Beck and Sean Lambert will round out our three-man crew for this evening's contest. Also want to say a special hello to the great athletic staff at Carmel that is so kind to us to have us here on a regular basis. This is the rare time where Jim Inskeep is not in the building. In fact, Jim might be watching us right now from Florida. The cheerleading program has a national level competition, or the dance team, one of the two. And, well, somebody's got to make sure you're on that trip. So Jim drew the short end of the stick.
Yeah, he's making the sacrifice, I'm sure, to do that.
I think that's called a veteran administrator, I think is what that is. However, luckily, he's got a wonderful staff here that can work on things like that. So thank you, Jeff Hester. Thank you, John Boss. Thank you, Mike Hash, as always, doing a wonderful job. Now, in the background, you are hearing the reference of having a guest coach for tonight's game. That is Cody Scott. He is part of the Shepherd family. He is a young man that, I think Cody's all of 3 years old. He is going through a cancer fight right now. He is right now sitting in the end zone. There you see Cody, Grandma and Grandpa there, Steve in the background, Chris holding him. I know the family very well, and they are honored by the gesture to make him the honorary coach for tonight's contest. Good to see our buddy Andy Warren down there as part of that group as well. Right now, let's listen in as the Carmel High School Band performing our national anthem this evening. We have rolled through the starting lineups already. Our buddy Aaron Pittman from Mic'd Up and Virtual Announcer will handle the announcing duties here inside of the building. We won't rattle through them one more time. Let's reference last year's matchup. LN won 62-37. That snapped a 6-game losing skid against Carmel that dated back to this building in February of 2020. And last year's LN team was 22-7. And again, they played that Carmel team after the season-ending injury to Alex Trudeau. And again, it was a season of struggle for Carmel from that point on. Carmel sitting on 11 wins, already more than 10 wins. Last year was the first losing season the Greyhounds had in 14 years. Again, don't have to worry about that this year. They will certainly be taking care of business going forward. Our two head coaches tonight contest, Chris Giffen, now in his 4th year as the boys' head coach at Lawrence North after a very successful run as the girls' head coach. He is approaching 300 wins combined at Lawrence North as the girls' and boys' head coach. Only a few hundred to catch his mentor in terms of Jack Kiefer, of which Chris was on Jack's staff as a boys' assistant, then became the girls' head coach. And when Jack retired, it was a very easy choice to name Chris. And Dave, you and I were talking about this off the air earlier. when you can list your mentors as Steve Whitty, Bob Knight, and Jack Kiefer, you've had some pretty good training.
Pretty good preparation right there with those three guys. And I always referred to Jack. He was a good friend, and I always called him Shooter from Hoosiers. But obviously everything in the building down there is named after Jack.
It is, and rightfully so.
The floor, the gymnasium, and he earned it.
The whole 9 yards. Ryan Osborne, now in his 9th year as the head coach at Carmel. Ryan played at IUPUI for Ron Hunter and spent time on the staff at Avon with Jason Young, now the AD at Avon High School. And then came here when Scott Heddy got the job, and Scott then moved to Marian University. Ryan became the head coach and obviously has not missed a beat. Ryan, 157 and 59 in his time as the head coach of the Carmel Greyhounds. Carmel's strength of schedule, 3rd best in the state of Indiana. That was entering last weekend, only behind Hamilton Southeastern and Zionsville. For both of these teams, no Saturday matinee. That is often the schedule in terms of boys basketball on girls sectional week. You play a Thursday night and then a Saturday afternoon game. This is the only game of the week for each of these two teams. And Carmel gets back to action on Tuesday at Brownsburg. Well, LN will play host to Ben Davis. And again, LN fans will have your team again next Friday night on ISC and My Indy TV. Miller will jump at center for Lawrence North. Evan Harrell will have the honors for Carmel. Chad Beck will toss this one up.
No question, that's the key matchup in this ballgame. Harold against Miller.
Well, a game it's been worth the wait. About 25 minutes behind schedule. We think it's going to be a good one. We hope you agree. Here on ISC and My Indy TV. LN going to come out. Looks like a little matchup zone here. Yep.
It is a matchup zone.
It's more of a matchup again, knowing you've got to stop the three-point shot for Carmel. But they share the ball so well. So note they put Daniels in the middle of that zone, then kicks out for three. That does not go. And Webster flies out with a rebound. Carmel will be primarily a man-to-man team. Gilbert fires a three and splash. Shandon Gilbert.
36%. That's his 23rd one made out of 63 tries. So they've got 5 guys that shoot the three, and they shoot it a lot.
He will be the star of next year's Lawrence North team. They have 4 senior starters of this group. Daniels down the lane. No, good look that would not go, but Harrell keeps it alive. Harrell had 9 points in the loss to Fishers on Saturday night. Gilbert's made 1. Doesn't make the second one. Long rebound, and Daniels. Harrell, foot race down the floor, and it's Miller to the bucket. And in years gone by, Carmel has not looked for that opportunity. That is different about this group.
They run the 5-man, which is Harrell straight up the middle. They fly person on each side up the sideline. Look for it every time. If it's not there, they're well disciplined to go into their offense.
Yep, steps called. Miller got airborne, thought he had a passing lane, didn't do it. Frankly, don't expect many turnovers in this game in either direction. Carmel looking for what might just be their best win of the season, if they can claim this one. Beat one of the best teams in 3A in Cathedral earlier in January. Ben Davis won a pretty good one as well, and now an illegal screen has been called against Cash Daniels. It's the first Carmel turnover.
Cash has suffered a little bit by getting excessive fouls and had to set out a time or two. They need him on the court. Two good guards right there facing each other.
Yeah, Webster's always been solid, but he has really stepped his game up this senior year. Even though he misses that pull-up. Looks like a man this time down by Lawrence North. And again, they are as apt to switch defensively as any team in the area. That goes back to the Kiefer days. They've been flexible. There is Vogt.
You talked earlier, Greg, that he's really stepped his game up, and you felt he was one of the real keys to the game. And he's shooting the ball well, 50% from the 3 line.
Listen, Daniels is the obvious big addition, but he was kind of more of a known commodity at Cathedral. Vogt has went from a fringe rotation player to a significant offensive piece for Carmel. The Hounds out to a 7-3 lead. Gilbert made his first one. He's missed his last 2. Bremer and Dickerson know their roles and play them well. So Harrell have some success against Isaiah Hill a couple of weeks back. Bremer hits the 3. 10-3 start for the Greyhounds. Darian Prather will check in next, dead ball for Lawrence North. So an early substitution coming in for LN. Thomas poked away by Vogt, recovers. Webster in the lane. Smallest LN player gets the bucket at the rim. It's their second field goal.
I mentioned one of the keys for Carmel was an early start, and they certainly have done that. They lead 10-5, and I think it's important. If they get behind, it could be tough to catch up. They've solved that problem. They're out of the chute pretty strong.
All right, so after a make, LN went to the matchup zone. Let's see if that trend continues. Vogt, not that time. Miller and Harrell in the jumping match, and it's Miller that tracks it down. This will not be a game where I think either team wants to dictate a particular tempo. Both teams just kind of go play. That's always been the case for LN. Good high-low, and Gilbert cashes in on a Miller assist. Again, of all the skill sets that Miller has, he is an outstanding passer for a player his size. Bremer again. Back-to-back threes by Ben, a 40% three-point shooter. A whistle-free, largely opening 4.5 minutes. And this communication between Webster and Bremer. Webster lost the handle. Touched last by Carmel. Not allowed Prather to enter the mix. Here comes Davis Baker as well. Carrying on the family tradition. His older brother, an outstanding three-point shooter, and Davis just the same at 42%.
Carmel's bread and butter defense is man-to-man, but they really help each other. They play the help sides. Watch when the ball is passed and all 5 guys in the white jersey move.
Miller over Dickerson. Nobody got fouled. They're getting ready to say Dickerson's got the physicality that he can match Miller, but Miller's got him by 3 inches, and Brendan Miller shoot the game's first 2 free throws.
Good free throw shooter, 77%. As you mentioned earlier, the team shoots it at 79.
And Miller and Webster are the guys that get there more than anybody else, which is what you expect from your 2 most experienced players, your senior leaders. Those 2 and Carnes were the guys that were really half of a 6-man rotation last year, as Miller makes them both his first 2 points of the game. And back to the matchup here for Lawrence North. Short corner for Harrell. Harrell in traffic, no. It looked that wouldn't fall. Prather not one to look for his own shot. Carnes lines up, that was blocked. Bremer got that one. And Webster just stumbled and ends up stumbling into Cash Daniels. First foul whistle against the Wildcats.
Daniels is very, very quick with the ball, and he knows how to create the contact. And that was a lot to do with him creating it. It wasn't so much that Webster was out of position or anything.
Touched on, got to be careful on fouls because, again, both these teams, we want to play 7 at the most 8. Daniels in the lane, got it.
Great move.
His first field goal.
He's got a mid-range jumper. He hits a 3, and you saw the little floater.
This time it's Harrell that matches up on Miller. We saw Dickerson last time down. Step through by Miller. Harrell got a piece, but Miller goes and gets it.
It's not over yet.
Always been an outstanding rebounder. This year with No McGrew or Thomas to assist him. 10.5 boards a game. And timeout is called by Ryan Osborne and Carmel. It's a 30-second timeout. This 30-second timeout presented by the Ed Martin Automotive Group. When it comes to your next vehicle, Ed Martin's the only name you need to know. Find out more when you log on to edmartin.com. And Ed Martin is always proud to support the Lawrence North Wildcats. So if you're Ryan Osborne, what do you see that necessitated that timeout?
You may have to help more on Miller. Very impressive for a 6'7" guy. He caught the ball 15 feet from the basket. He reverse dribbled 2 times to his left, to his right, and ended up getting a layup. So I think they're going to have to get a little help on him. Of course, the danger of that, if you help too much, they love to, Lawrence North loves to shoot that outside three-pointer.
I said this now twice in the last decade. The folks from Edwards, Illinois have come to Lawrence Township and gotten a steal. The last time I said it, the kid ended up never going to SIUE. That was Jake LaRavia. That was on an NBA contract. That was originally where he was going to go before he ended up at Indiana State. Miller heading to SIU Edwardsville, who won the Ohio Valley Conference for the first time last season. That's the matchup here for LN. Votes just couldn't get to it in time. Second Greyhound turnover.
The matchup is forcing Carmel to rush their outside shot and not getting good looks, but they're also paying a lot of attention with Harold down inside. That gives them help side on him.
It's a defense that Ryan Osborne knows well from his playing days at IUPUI. Ron Hunter, a big champion of that matchup zone. Webster got walled off by Dickerson. No foul called. We play on. Daniels to the bucket, left it short. Harold fouled. He'll shoot 2.
Great follow there by Harold. Looked like Cash Daniels had a sure lay-in, but you never want to assume that the layup's going in, and Harold did the right thing, just falling in, gets the opportunity to shoot 2 free throws.
You run 75 feet, might as well run 10 more, right?
Right. And, you know, his natural thing is, okay, my teammate's got a sure layup, I'm just going to hang back here at the head of the key, but good players follow every shot.
Delancey Fant comes on now for Carmel. 6'2" junior. Going to give Daniels probably a breather till the start of the second quarter. He nor Harold don't leave the floor very often for Carmel. Harold's got 6. Little 3/4 court trap here by Carmel. Almost an over and back. Miller rises and fires. No. Frankly, he shot more of that as a freshman than he has in his later years. It's a one-and-done possession by Lawrence North. And on the miss, LN in a man-to-man. Harold, no.
I think that's a good move to give Cash Daniels a little breather. I mentioned earlier, he has a tendency, particularly as the game goes on, of picking up fouls. And he has one, so good chance to keep him fresh.
That's so good. You talked about the great help defense that Carmel offers. That entire thing was have Miller draw a double and find the open guy. The open guy was Duke Carnes. High-level stuff between these two teams so far. Hound's going to hold for a final look of the quarter.
Time to go. There it is.
Arcing pass over Miller, and Harrell lays it up and in. And Carmel puts up 19 on the board in the opening quarter of play. Number 7 Carmel leads it by 6 over number 6 Lawrence North. We're back in 60 seconds as you're watching on ISC and My Indy TV.
Have you been injured at work? Visit your work injury lawyers at indianaworkers.com. We help injured workers. For a free consultation, go to indianaworkers.com, a division of Galitko and Daly. We go to work when you can't. Have you been injured at work? Visit your work injury lawyers at indianaworkers.com. We help injured workers. For a free consultation, go to indianaworkers.com, a division of Galitko and Daly. We go to work when you can't.
It'll be Lawrence North basketball to start quarter number 2. They trail Carmel by a score of 19-13. And alongside Dave Nicholson, my name is Greg Rakestraw. Thank you so much for joining us. We got 2 more trips for the boys' side inside of this building this year. We'll be back for a girls' sectional final on Saturday night. Semifinals tomorrow night. We're able to watch that on both ISC, MyNDTV, and the IHSAA Champions Network. Reminder, all postseason games streaming exclusively via IHSAATV.org. Man-to-man by the Hounds. Carnes gets a breather. Miller on the blow by, score it. 6 for Brennan Miller.
Interesting matchup with Miller and Harold. And I think Evan Harold is showing that he can defend outside.
Votes for 3. Votes got 2 of those. Bremer's got 2 of those, which is exactly what Ryan Osborne expects from those 2 seniors.
You told me before the game that the guys are making a difference. Vogt is one of them.
I'm glad he's making me look smart. I appreciate that. Webster gets the bucket at the other end. 5-point lead. With higher scoring than these 2 have kind of played in years gone by. LN has always been a team that, you know, I always say you're not going to out Carmel or speed up Carmel. Well, Carmel has kind of sped up Carmel this year. LN said, all right, fine, we'll beat you in a half-court game in years gone by. Daniels lays it up and in, his second field goal.
Very nice baseline drive and put it up on the opposite side of the basket with a little backhand. Cashew's developed a lot of things in his game.
Baker for 3. Again, he will be so much more of a featured piece of this team the next couple of years. A 42% three-point shooter as a sophomore. Through the hands of Dickerson, but tracks it down and knocked off his knee. He lost it a second time.
May have had some contact there. He felt like he did. Thing about Dickerson, he's there on every play. He temporarily lost the ball, fought, got it back, and then it slipped away from him, but he doesn't give up on it.
Starter since his freshman year. You say that about a lot of this group. They have grown together with the obvious addition of Daniels, and yeah, offensive foul is the call. I'm not sure if the whistle slipped out of the official's mouth, but he made the call. You just couldn't hear the whistle.
Long hesitation there, but I think it's the right call. See, he puts that right shoulder. Been watching college basketball. That's all you see. They go down in there and create that. But if they lower the shoulder like that, you pretty much have to make the call.
Yeah, did Harrell sell that a bit? Certainly. But did Miller make contact with the shoulder?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And for Miller, that is his second foul. That's a big one for Lawrence North. We'll see how long he sits. Adler Cole in for the first time, 6'3" junior. Not seen Fountain nor Nover just yet. But the offense just changed for LN with Miller on the sideline.
I think that's where you go right there with Miller on the sideline.
Steps called. Harrell a bobble. Here comes Jamichael Fountain for Carmel. And frankly, Carmel now will go a bit smaller with Miller out of the game for LN. They'll give Dickerson a breather. So Webster now will be asked to carry a bit more of the offensive load for LN. What a great senior season he's had at 15 points a game. Carnes lost it.
You've got a great look at the help side defense there. They beat the Carmel defensive player on the ball, but there was 2 more white shirts waiting on him. No room to go. Both teams, I think, are playing really solid basketball. But can't fault Lawrence North or Carmel.
Daniels up and under, got it.
That's showing some strength there. He put his head right on that guy's chest and said, I'm going to go.
The smallest player on the floor was the most physical guy on the floor and got it done. He's got 6, which is the Carmel lead. Webster missed from the elbow. Bremer will checking next dead ball for Carmel. Cole, no. Thomas may have gotten a piece of that.
Good hustle by Cash.
But again, LN with Miller out of the game is just, the math is different for them offensively when he is not on the floor.
You pointed out early, Greg, he is the focal point. It starts there, and then he shares, but it's got to include him on every possession.
LN has both a point guard and a point forward on their team, and they run through both of them. And Webster picks up a foul. Not a lot of fouls in this game. But for Lawrence North, they're on a couple of key pieces. Webster's got 2 and Miller's got 2. While Miller is sitting, LN doesn't offer the same luxury to Webster. With the ball in a 6-point lead. Bremer down the lane. No, and Dickerson the foul. Yep. Just had a nudge in the back on the rebound attempt. Dickerson picks up his second foul. Meanwhile, Harrell will come right back in for him.
I think Carmel, I mentioned a minute ago, they've got to go through Harrell while Miller is on the bench.
Harrell with 8, leads all scorers. Baker lets it fly and connects. So Baker provides some offense for whomever is on the floor. Vogt trying to go right back at you and does. Again, young men that are 6'6" and shoot 50% from three-point range tend to play beyond their high school years. Vogt having a heck of a senior season. Timeout taken by Lawrence North. It is a full timeout. And let's take a look at back-to-back three-pointers, Coach.
Both teams like to shoot the 3, and they don't hesitate if they have the open look. Each have multiple players. It's not 1 or 2 guys. They've got 4 or 5 guys on each team that shoot the 3 freely.
This timeout presented by our friends at Main Street Barbershop, a barbershop that's so good it's named after the street that's no longer on. Now located on 116th Street and Keystone Parkway. Look for Christopher walk-in sign that tells you walk-ins are always welcome. Matt Stilger is Carmel's barber to the stars, but regular folks get their haircuts there too. Again, Matt's my beard guy, so I was in the shop yesterday. Main Street Barbershop, a classic barbershop for the modern family. If you're LN, how do you survive this last 3:18 without Miller on the floor before halftime?
I would open it up and give the guys like Webster an opportunity to really drive the basketball. And if they go with him and shut that off, then certainly your perimeter people are going to have a good look. But I think Lawrence North, the other thing I think they might do with this smaller lineup is apply pressure full court. We haven't seen that. They have the quickness and the athletic ability to do that.
Steal by Daniels.
Talk about quickness and athletic ability. Cash just showed it.
5th LN giveaway. Harrell on the attack. Thomas got a piece. Bremer. And a foul, I believe. Nope.
So they bounced it on the line, I believe.
Touch last by Carmel.
Both teams very solid on the defensive end. And that's not always been true. When you've got great athletes and great shooters, sometimes they don't like to lock down on the defense, but both teams are doing it.
Thomas just got going in a bit of a hurry. Steps called. Nover will check in next dead ball for the Greyhounds, and now you will have seen once he enters likely what is the rotation for Carmel tonight. Hounds on the road for the next 2. Webster shoots the gap and gets the steal.
Very quick. Good hands.
Prather on the drive and scores it. Prather kind of got grabbed on the way by. He used that football strength to go right through. Linebackers look like that against that kid. His first field goal. To a 4-point game. Prather, Zay Moore, Monson Sales, quite the triplets in terms of the quarterback, wide receiver, running back combo that Pat Mallory has coming back next year. And Back-to-back giveaways by Carmel. Turnover forced. Baker to make it a 1-point game. No. And he's got in the gym range. You don't mind him letting that one go. Daniels.
Nice
Harrell.
pass from Cash.
The assist to Daniels, the bucket by Harrell. He's got 10. Another high-level game here in Carmel. I've been fortunate to see a lot of each of these two teams this year, and there's a reason for it. They're good, and they play great competition. Well, we'll feature them each a couple of times more the rest of this season, and Webster got fouled by Daniels, and Webster will shoot too.
Came off a little curl move there on the left wing, down the basket. And, you know, we mentioned that's what they need to do. They've got the smaller lineup now. Why don't we attack?
Daniels picks up his second foul. Webster on the season. Averaging 15 points a contest. At the line, misses. First missed free throw by either side, but there's only been 5 total free throws taken. Dover comes in. Fant will come back in as well.
Good coaching there by Coach Osby. He got Daniels out of there because he has 2 personals. You only got a minute 26. Don't take a chance on him going to halftime with 3 fouls.
Webster with 5. Full court man pickup here by LN. Matchup zone here for Lawrence North. Vogt floating the middle of said zone, and again, when you're 6'6", you can get that shot off against most. Webster, just a little bit too much on that. Right idea.
I wouldn't be surprised Carmel takes the last shot of the half with 52 seconds, 57.2 actually.
You and I were having the conversation about the shot clock, which seems coming soon to Indiana high school basketball, and how many possessions a game is affected by it. You're looking at one of them right here.
End of a quarter. You don't see it very much.
Bremer knew he needed a bailout.
30 seconds is a long time, really, when you try to handle the basketball.
LN does have fouls to give, but again, because they don't play that many guys, you don't have kind of the free fouls on an individual basis to give in this scenario. Although Baker just gave one there. It's the 3rd team foul against Lawrence North.
This is nothing new for Carmel over the years, so they know how to kill the clock, run it down, and normally I just shot a little bit early, in my way of thinking.
Baker the rebounding, and Carmel's got fouls to give. Baker from the volleyball line does not go, and that is that. Again, Carmel trying to land a home win against a top 10 foe. They've had multiple chances. They lead it here by a score of 33-26. Stay tuned. Halftime coverage comes your way next. You're watching on ISC by Indy TV.
There are many ways to judge the quality of a college or university. At Wabash, we are proud of being nationally ranked in so many measures of quality. The engagement of our students with their faculty, the exceptional classroom experience, the unbeatable internship program and alumni network. It's easy to see how we earn our reputation as one of the best colleges in the country. We are proud of our rankings, but come see for yourself. Schedule a visit today at wabash.edu.
What's in a name? What's in a name? Ed Martin Automotive Group, the only name you need to know.
Your life is on the go. Now your viewing habits can be on the go. With the ISC Sports Network app, Your team is at your fingertips. You can download years' worth of content from the ISC Sports Network library. High school, college, special events, weekly and monthly shows, wherever you find your favorite app. And you can always find out more information at iscsportsnetwork.com.
Got the dunk, got the poster, and gets the highlights. Now he takes the look away, and he puts it away.
Back inside the Eric Clark Activity Center. No activity right now because it's halftime. Plenty of activity in the 60 minutes prior to this one. Carmel 33 and Lawrence Road 26. Greg Rakestraw, Dave Nicholson with you. Coach, your thoughts on half number one?
The big turning point, of course, was when Miller picked up his second foul and had to go to the bench. That makes a whole different team. There's a lot of good players on LN, but you keep saying, and I agree, he's the focal point. It's got to go through him because he's a great passer. He's also a great scorer. On the scoring side for Carmel, both 11 big points here in the first half, and Fine, Evan Fine, that's another player. Evan Harrell had 10 points. So it's a matter of a little bit of not serious foul trouble because Miller only has 2, but it was good coaching, I think, to take him out of the ball game, make sure he has 3 fouls going into the third period. And with you're looking at a 7-point lead, certainly very reachable.
Miller sat for the last 5:51 of the half, and frankly, with him sitting for that long, being down 7, you kind of live with that if you're Lawrence North. Miller's got 6. Gilbert and Webster have 5. Baker has 6 off the bench for LN. Again, Coach mentioned 11 for Vogt and 10 for Evan Harrell. All of their points coming from the starting 5, even if they have played 4 players off the bench so far. We'll take this quick timeout. When we come back, Wabash College Trivia and first half highlights. That's yours next from Carmel, where the Hounds lead by 7 on ISC and MyIndy TV.
We build kids up from the ground up. It's not so much about where you're at.
In most programs in Indiana, it's teams and it's games and it's teams and it's games.
They're playing in a bunch of games and not really having any type of system or structure to their routine, to their development, to their growth.
Trying to find more of a balance, more trainings, less games, skill development, basketball IQ.
Accountability. Once you walk through those doors, energy and effort's on you, the individual.
4 to 5 days a week, really trying to build a player that is prepared for going into their middle schools, going into their high schools and beyond.
You have objective criteria you have to meet to move on to the next class. That gives kids a sense of dedication to work to get towards something.
We're not here chasing rankings. We're trying to develop basketball players.
You should not worry about getting ranked at such a young age.
We're going to push you to limits that you probably didn't know you can get to.
It's about the work ethic and less about the rankings and the notoriety. We want you to get a well-rounded basketball education.
3, 2, 1.
Has the first dunk in the building from Joya. Waits, Waddell finishes. And lays it in. There is right now the play of the game. Better finish. Good. We might see that on Plays of the Week. Great feed. The finish. Spin, win, 3. Bury it in the lane. No, gun, yes. Stop. Whoa, what a play. Flying in. Brewer jams it home.
That ball wiggles in and into the back of the net.
A little fireworks in the first half.
Throw it up for Tillman.
Whoa, my goodness. 122-6-0 for Penn.
What a swim. 6 of them.
As always, thanks to all of our great sponsors, including the folks at Unranked Hoops being a part of our broadcast all season long. Another sponsor to thank. We do it every year at halftime, or every game at halftime, is our friends at Wabash College, as they sponsor Wabash College Trivia. Now, last week, Wabash and Nepaw played for a second time. They have split the regular season series. Little Giants won on Wednesday, 74-70. Wabash has more wins and losses against DePaul than any other team they play. Dave, who is the team they have the second most wins against in program history with 85? They're all in-state. Here are your choices: Earlham, Franklin, Rose-Hulman, or Butler.
Who they had the most wins against?
Most wins against other than DePaul. They have beaten DePaul 100 times. This in-state school is second with 85. Whom has Wabash beaten 85 times?
Franklin.
Not yet. The answer is Earlham. Little Giants are 85-35 against the Quakers all time. Franklin's not far off. Schedule your visit to Wabash anytime when you log on to wabash.edu. Let's roll those first half highlights. All right, Dave, what changes? Obviously, Miller back in the lineup is the biggest change for LN. What changes do you see from either team in half number 2?
I think Carmel did a pretty good job of figuring out that matchup 2-3. So I would be surprised that maybe Lawrence North comes out and plays a little more man-to-man, because I thought they did a nice job. On Carmel, I wouldn't change anything. The style of play, their defensive man-to-man has been good because we talked about it. They have really good help side. On LN, they've got to generate a little more offense. You know, they're averaging 68 points a ball game, and they only have 26 here at halftime. So they've got to come in. And I think two things. Of course, they're going to play through Miller, but they're going to have to hit the outside shot. They're a prolific three-point shooting team, and they haven't been able to capitalize on that as much as I think they will.
3 threes in half number 1 for Lawrence North, and one of those was the first trip down the floor by Shannon Gilbert. Wildcats have the ball. When we come back, they trail by 7 as you're watching on ISC and My Indy TV.
Hi, this is Bill with Banks & Brower. No, you're fine. How can I help you?
This is Adam Brower from Banks & Brower. Nah, not busy at all. You got this, Brad. One more mile. Banks & Brower, this is Brad. No, now's the perfect time to talk.
You never know when trouble will find you.
But when it does, we're here for you anytime.
For every hour, there's Banks & Brower.
The MSD of Lawrence Township embodies educational excellence, unlocking the full potential of every student we serve. Where innovation meets tradition, our students excel in welcoming safe, state-of-the-art facilities. A traditional public school district, Lawrence Township boasts a 95% graduation rate. On the court and in the arts, our students excel. Join the Lawrence Township family, where learners thrive, surrounded by values that resonate with home. Lawrence Township, your destination for a brighter future.
Hey, it's Query.
And I'm Schultz.
And each and every week in podcast form, video form from the ISC Sports Network, we do Query and Schultz, brought to you by Bailey & Wood, the fine folks south side of Indianapolis, but serving all of central Indiana for the best mortgage rates.
And, of course, we record right here at Chili Water Brewing Tap Room and our friends at Hoagies and Hops, 42nd and Boulevard, right here in Indianapolis. We're talking Colts, we're talking Pacers, we're talking Hoosiers, we're talking Boilers, and we're hanging with you.
We talk the tall and the short of it, right, is what we do.
Yeah, whatever, man. Every Tuesday night, 7:30, right here on the ISC Sports Network.
Again, thanks to our outstanding ISC Sports Network crew. Jordan Shue, Carlos Larkin. Thanks to Greg Sharton, Eric Kinnett. Thanks to Chase Eisnagel. I know it's a big game. Eric Kinnett normally just works on Fridays and Saturdays. So Eric decided to show up on a Thursday night. This is clearly a very important game. The pride of Shelbyville is here with us. Miller returns with 2 fouls. Webster plays with 2 fouls as well.
Interesting. Miller went over and had a long conversation with the official under the basket. It was friendly.
Yep. So Miller's an old soul. He doesn't mind having those grown-up conversations.
Carmel's going to stay with that man-to-man. Why not? It was very effective. They get good help side out of it, and they've been successful in getting pressure on the outside shooters.
Webster downhill and forces his way in. That was by sheer will he got that one to go down. Back to a 5-point game. Help side by Carnes slows up Daniels on the play. Vogt, not that time. Harrell couldn't track it down. So far, so good early in the half here for Lawrence North.
Vogt's been shooting it really well there, but he was well defended on that shot.
Carnes pulls from 16, no.
Got numbers.
Harrell, yep.
Took a step.
Yep. Just got the happy feet a little bit.
Got to the head of the key, and he got so excited about an open layup, forgot to put it down on the floor.
Both teams now with 7 turnovers. Another chance for LN to make it a 1-score game. Miller in the corner for 3, no. He's 0 for 2 on those so far. As talked about at halftime, just 3 made threes for Lawrence North in the first half. Carmel has connected 5 times from outside the arc, all from Vogt and Bremer.
And that 3 is such an important part of the Lawrence North offense. They've got to make a few of those.
And then Gilbert will be called for the foul.
Got caught behind. Harrell reached around. You do that, you're going to get the call.
And from a foul standpoint, Daniels and Dickerson each have 2 for Carmel. For Lawrence North, Webster and Miller each have 2. Harrell in the basket dive, shot blocked by Miller. Carnes,
layup.
Webster, and he and Daniels collide, and both players are worse for wear. And that was completely unintentional. Webster bobbled the ball. Daniels didn't think he was going to stop, and they butted heads.
Yeah, Webster actually had a wide open layup here, and he kind of bobbles the ball. Might have called travel there, and he came back, and Daniels was trailing him on full speed and couldn't get stopped and out of the way.
So now of note for Carmel, Daniels now picks up his 3rd foul. As Webster connects, Daniels will come out, Nover comes back in. But this changes what Carmel wants to do now in the half court.
Changes the whole complexion because you've got your quickest player and your #1 assist man and a scorer that puts it up at about 15 points a game sitting on the bench.
So Webster now with 9, and it's back to a 1-score game. Carmel scoreless here in the opening 2 minutes of the half. Dickerson fixes that. Dickerson gets his first bucket of the game. All 5 starters now have scored for the Hounds. Nover has the assignment of guarding Webster. And Webster goes right at him and scores. So Webster has all 6 points since halftime. The senior now leads the way for Lawrence North with 11.
LN has come out to start the 3rd quarter red hot.
This is more of a football term that applies here. This is good on good. These are 2 really high-level teams. Bremer wiped away by Miller, but Dickerson keeps it alive. The jump hook by Harrell. That's an old man shot, but man, he's got it down, that little jump hook. I know Trey Coffin-Wren's a big user of that shot. Harrell has it down at this level too.
You know, I would put Harrell down as one of the most improved players over last year. Of course, he had injuries that slowed him, I know that, but he's got great footwork now. He doesn't hesitate. He's playing with a lot of confidence.
Gilbert for 3. That does not go, and Nover secures the weak side glass. Chance to bump it back to a 3-score lead. It was 7 at the break. Bremer the step back for 3, not that time. Left a crack in the backboard, in fact, and Webster will track it down. And Webster got bailed out. Dickerson commits his third foul, so Dickerson and Daniels each with 3 now for the Hounds.
Dickerson is always in the thick of it. He's a very physical player, aggressive player.
I think steps were just called, I believe.
On Thomas, and he looks as surprised that
8th Lawrence North turnover. LN playing for the first time in 12 days.
I understand that Lawrence North doesn't want to get into serious foul trouble, but with Daniels on the sideline particularly, full court press might be in order. I think they have the quickness to force some turnovers.
Baker will check in, next stoppage in play for the Wildcats. The half-court offense a little sluggish here without Daniels on the floor.
Right. And Lawrence North is going straight to a man-to-man. There's a good one-on-one move.
Harrell. Miller went for the steal and didn't get it, left the door open. Harrell slams it shut. He's got 14. He leads all scorers in this game. It's going to be a foul on Harrell. Free throws inbound for Gilbert. And Harrell slam at the other end.
It's his first foul, so no problems there.
We'd see free throws there, but the answer is no. Foul on the floor. 13 foul against Carmel. Miller trying to size the defense and trying to draw a second defender. Thomas over Harrell, no. Thomas thought he had it down. He's starting to go the other direction. Chance to extend the lead even further now for Carmel. Bremer from deep, no. Miller, when he grabs the rebound, he'll simply lead the break. Baker off that handoff. You got to guard him really from half court on.
I thought one of the keys for LN was having some offensive rebounds, and it hasn't been.
Miller had his pocket picked. Vogt just kind of lost his footing on that one.
Rim blocking.
Bremer again, got it. His third, made 3, and it is double digits for the first time for the Greyhounds. Hansen towards the LN bench, seeing if there might be a timeout incoming. He'll let his team play through it for now. Carnes looking to get going. Just one bucket for Carnes tonight.
Interesting. LN came out of the locker room there in the start of the third period and really made a move.
Steps called again.
Carmel recovered and extended their lead.
Thomas will check out. Prather will check back in. Well, there's a group of about 4 or 5 teams in Central Indiana where I would even throw Crown Point into that group too, where they're all almost identical. These two, Plainfield, and Plainfield has 3-point wins against both of these teams. We'll probably put Mount Vernon in that mix. Crown Point similar. We're looking to get a win kind of against that group for the first time. And Daniels sits with 3 fouls.
This is a very capable way for Carmel to play. They're used to it.
Deep 3, Bremer, not that time, but Harrell tracks down the loose ball. Mismatch, and quickly LN. You heard the Carmel bench shouting about it. Harrell blocked by Miller, but Miller coming up side to head. 3rd foul on Miller, and Harrell now will shoot 2.
One-on-one move by the Harrell, little shot fake, caused Miller to come up on his toes, were able to establish the baseline drive. Then he had Miller behind him. He went for the block and got the bodies.
Miller.
That is Miller's 3rd, right?
Yep. Harrell, a 77% free throw shooter.
been one of the consistent players all year long for the Greyhounds.
He's got 16. The lead has grown to 12. This was down to a one-score game. And all of a sudden, serious space. Wave off the shot. Foul on the floor. LN needed that bucket. They'll have to settle for simply the 4th team foul against Carmel. Nover whistled for the foul. Next foul will send LN the penalty for the remainder of the quarter. Miller on the post. Trying to find Prather and just lost the handle.
Give Aiden Dickerson a lot of credit.
Yep.
He's a 6'4", and probably a short 6'4", but he's doing a nice job of battling Miller inside at 6'7".
And he can really guard kind of anybody 2 through 5 on the floor.
He's so physical.
Yep.
He puts his body into them. He'll pick up a foul now and then, but he does a nice job.
And
Stop it with a foul.
Yep. Webster picks the pocket of Bremer, and then Bremer gives the foul. That'll be 2 free throws coming up for Cameron Webster on the 8th Carmel turnover. Webster averaging 1 or 3 steals a game, gets 1 there. Gets rewarded with free throws. He's 3 of 4 from the line tonight.
He's a great free throw shooter, 88%.
The MSD of Lawrence Township embodies educational excellence, unlocking the full potential of every student we serve. Where innovation meets tradition, students excel in welcoming, safe environments. Thanks to our friends at Lawrence Township, boasting a 95% graduation rate in Lawrence Township's honors programs, career pathways, and dual credit opportunities for future leaders and workers on the court and in the arts. State champion students excel, driven by ambition and community spirit. Enroll now in Lawrence Township, your destination for a brighter future.
Carmel will play for 1, in my opinion. It's about 40 seconds here to go in the 3rd period.
Almost for Carnes. Daniels back in, which also kind of signifies her holding for 1 shot. Carnes guarding close enough to get the 5-second count started. And Daniels got rid of that just in time. And now a timeout, a 30-second timeout taken by Coach Osborne. This 30-second timeout presented by Brady Laurie and Laurie Law. Brady has been serving the citizens of Marion, Johnson, and surrounding counties for over 25 years. If you or someone you know is in criminal trouble or has been injured, make the call to Brady for a consultation. Let Brady put his negotiating skills and courtroom experience to work for you. Call 317-250-7783 or email BradyJLaurie@gmail.com. Brady Laurie, criminal defense and personal injury trial lawyer. Carmel with 3 timeouts remaining. Lawrence North with 4. LN does it.
Some people might question a timeout with 15.5 seconds left to go. But I think Coach Osborne understands how valuable every possession is. And on the scoreboard, it looks a lot better if you got a 12-point lead going into the 4th period. Obviously, they're going to take the last shot unless they get a layup before then. But I think they have to really try to get the ball down inside.
Well, 1-1-3 here by LN. They find Vogt in the corner. Diagrammed it to perfection. Vogt's for 3. He's got 14. Webster from half court just off the front of the rim. The Greyhounds will take their largest lead to quarter number 4. It's 47-34 over Lawrence North. We're back in 60 seconds on ISC and MyIndy TV.
Hey, it's Query.
And I'm Schultz.
And each and every week in podcast form, video form from the IC Sports Network, we do Query and Schultz, brought to you by Bailey and Wood, the fine folks south side of Indianapolis, but serving all of central Indiana for the best mortgage rates.
And, of course, we record right here at Chili Water Brewing Tap Room and our friends at Hoagies and Hops, 42nd and Boulevard, right here in Indianapolis. We're talking Colts, we're talking Pacers, we're talking Hoosiers, we're talking Boilers, and we're hanging with you.
We talk the tall and the short of it, right, is what we do.
Whatever, man. Every Tuesday night, 7:30, right here on the ISC Sports Network.
The lead is now up to 13 for Carmel, 47-34. Greg Straw, Dave Nicholson with you. Evan Harrell, 16. Julian Vogt, 14. Ben Bremer, 9. 7 made threes, all coming from Vogt and Bremer in tonight's game for the Greyhounds. This is where Carmel has just been able to dissect teams over the years with what they do from a tempo standpoint. Daniels fires a three. That does not go. Right for the loose ball. Daniels tracks it down and then steps called.
Nice hustle play there by Nover to get another possession, and then they turn it over. But I still think at some point Lawrence North has got to try pressure.
Daniels plays with 3. Dickerson does 2. Miller's got 3 for Lawrence North. Miller from 16, no. Miller with just 6 points. Not been his best offensive night. Vogt in the lane, off the window, does not go. Prather has had some extended minutes tonight for LN. On the attack, Prather, no, but Miller is there. Webster's 13. He's the only LN double-digit scorer so far. Daniels got it, tough shot.
Very tough.
I'm not sure you guard that any better if you're Lawrence North. Webster on the drive got fouled, and Cameron Webster will get 2 if that's on Daniels. That is his 4th.
I think that's his 4th.
Yep.
And there's no question when he steps on the court, he's a difference maker.
So Webster 5 of 6 from the line. Already Bremer is at the scorer's table, getting ready to enter.
You got to get Daniels out of there.
The 2025-26 edition of Hoosier Basketball Magazine can be ordered now by emailing HoosierBBLLMag@att.net. You can call or text 317-925-8200. You can purchase this year's edition via Venmo or Cash App payments, and there may be a digital version of the magazine available for purchase in addition to the traditional printed magazine. Trey Cunningham will come in. And that's kind of a sign that LN's going to turn up the pressure on the defensive end, Coach.
They're taking a look at it right now. It looked like a straight man-to-man full court press. Might be effective, particularly more so with Daniels out of the ballgame.
Webster picks up the foul. That is his 3rd. Daniels sits with 4 fouls. Good read by Prather. Step into the passing lane, 10th. Carmel turnover. Miller on the attack, up and over, and missed it. It's been a struggle for him tonight in terms of getting shots to fall. Prather, and he plays quarterback. He looked like a free safety on that one. Well, I'll defer to our friend and colleague Lance Schott. Sometimes talks about Darren. He's an outstanding high school quarterback, he goes, but he is one of those young men who will be recruited as an ATH, as an athlete when he goes to play football at the Division I levels. There might be some defense in his future. Poked away by Carnes and saves it. It goes right to Dickerson for Vogt, who left that one short. Harrell touched it last. Gilbert back in now for LN. Prather will have a seat. Thursday night hoops tonight. Girls basketball takes the attention tomorrow night and on Saturday night as well. A lot of teams will play a Saturday afternoon game. Neither of these two are. Webster changed his mind in midair. And Gilbert was just discombobulated by the entire thing.
Gilbert got feet tangled up. He's going to step on the baseline. There was nowhere to pass the basketball.
Daniels will come back in for Carmel. It may be a bit of offense-defense the rest of the way for Cash.
I think you're exactly right, and I think you can see the next 5:44 played a little differently by the Greyhounds, meaning that I think they're going to slow it down. Not stall, but they're going to take lots of passes till they get a good shot.
Daniels, and again, he and Cunningham got tied up, and Daniels had to be careful there. It's going to go against Cunningham. For last year's game, Carmel had won 6 consecutive games against Lawrence North, including the 2021 4A state championship game in overtime. Dickerson lost it, got it back, and scores it. Dickerson with 4. Miller poked away by Vogt.
It's an excellent example that help side defense. It looked like Miller had an open drive, and then they tried to pass across. And Vogt was just alert to it, stepped in, deflected it, didn't get the turnover, but he stopped the play.
As expected, now on the defensive stop, you bring Fant in to give Daniels a breather. Miller steps through, splits the defenders, and scores it. He's got double figures with 10. Now on a made basket, full court pickup here for Lawrence North. Timeout called by Carmel. It'll be a full timeout. We will take it with them. 5:10 left to play in this one. Hounds the ball with an 11-point lead. We're back in 60 on ISC and MyIndy TV.
Looking for the perfect place to celebrate? Look no further. Grindstone on the Monon has it all. Indulge in our exceptional cuisine and handcrafted cocktails. And for that extra touch of magic, enjoy our enchanting outdoor area, complete with a cozy fireplace. Make every occasion special at Grindstone on the Monon, located on Wheeler Road in Westfield. Cheers to great times and great food.
Your life is on the go. Now your viewing habits can be on the go. With the ISC Sports Network app, your team is at your fingertips. You can download years' worth of content from the ISC Sports Network library. High school, college, special events, weekly and monthly shows, wherever you find your favorite app. And you can always find out more information at iscsportsnetwork.com.
The lead is 11. Carmel has led most of the way. They led it by 6 at the end of the first quarter, 7 at halftime, and by 13 at the end of quarter number 3. Daniels plays with 4 fouls for Carmel and throws that one away.
Don't make cross-court passes.
Carnes got fouled by Vogt. Carnes will shoot 2.
Coach Osborne put his head in his hands on that one. When you got a nice 11-point lead in the basketball, you shorten those passing lanes up a little bit. Fill 15 feet, meet your passes, protect the basketball, keep attacking. You don't want to go in a complete delay, but just be aggressive with it, but keep moving the basketball.
Carnes has had some struggles from the line this year, which, given the fact he is such a good shooter, is a surprise. He is now 15 of 26 from the stripe this season. His second year in the LN program, played homeschool basketball until last year, was the 6th man on last year's semi-state team.
Run and jump.
And Ryan Osborne saw that was a turnover waiting to happen. So it's going to be another full timeout, and we will again take it with them. 4:45 to play. The lead is now 10 on ISC and MyIndy TV.
The MSD of Lawrence Township embodies educational excellence, unlocking the full potential of every student we serve. Where innovation meets tradition, our students excel in welcoming safe, state-of-the-art facilities. A traditional public school district, Lawrence Township boasts a 95% graduation rate. On the court and in the arts, our students excel. Join the Lawrence Township family, where learners thrive, surrounded by values that resonate with home. Lawrence Township, your destination for a brighter future.
Hounds on a one timeout remaining. They have led most of the way. They lead it by 10. 4:45 to go on this one.
If you're a coach, you'd like to have more than one with 4:45. Because if LN makes a run, you might want to slow them down and slow the momentum a little bit.
Cunningham getting some extra minutes here for Lawrence North.
Move people and move the ball. Don't force the issue.
Daniels altered by Miller. And if that's on Daniels, that's his 5th. So Daniels just fouled out with 4:23 left to play.
That changes the whole complexion of this game.
And what's been comfortable now is certainly not that for Carmel. Daniels with 8 tonight.
I like him as a player a lot. I think knowing score and time situation and how to attack, when to slow down a little bit, that's still going to come in his game.
Vogt lurking. Miller somehow breaks free from that trap. Carmel staff wanted to travel on Gilbert's move where he put the ball down on the floor.
Even if LN scores here, it's been a successful defensive threat by Carmel because they used up quite a bit of the clock.
Full timeout taken by Lawrence North. We will step aside for a final time in regulation. It is now an 8-point game at 51-43. We're back in 60 on ISC and MyIndy TV.
Man, if I beat Braden Smith and Pig, he's never going to live that down.
Dude, don't get your hopes up. Hey, Adam, it's your turn.
Oh, sorry, guys, gotta take this. All right, Braden, go easy on me.
Okay.
Sorry, man.
I guess for every hour, there really is Banks and Brower.
Whether it's criminal, family, personal injury, or immigration law.
You can call them anytime. Sorry, got a call.
Sorry.
Hey there, my name is Jake Query.
And I'm Derek Schultz.
And we are part of, actually, the entirety of, at least from an on-air standpoint, Query and Schultz on the ISC Sports Network. It's appropriately named. It's charitably award-winning. And Derek, now we venture into season number 5. Hard to believe.
5 of them. 5 of them. Can you believe it? 2 best buds, talking Colts, Pacers, Indiana sports, every Tuesday night, 7:30, ISC Sports Network, and on socials as well.
It is made possible, of course, by the people who watch and listen every single week. We are most appreciative. We look forward to season number 5.
Down to an 8-point game at 51-43. The largest lead was at 13 for Carmel. Hounds looking to land a 12th win of the season against all of their lost teams ranked above them. USA Today top 10, and LN would be of that group as well. Wildcats rated 6th, Hounds rated 7th this week in the polls.
And with Daniels fouled out, you're going to see intense pressure by LN. Run and jump, shoot to passing lanes.
Vogt turns down a 3-point shot. Different time and score, that's going up. It's Cole that is in there now, replacing Daniels for Carmel. So teams with 3 fouls. We have a jump ball. The arrow points the way of the Wildcats. Vogt got fouled by Gilbert on the way down. Before the shot. There's foul number 4 by the team. No free throws on that. Gilbert knew he was beaten on the play, so gave the foul. Prather now will check in. He'll replace Gilbert. So LN goes a bit smaller and a bit quicker with their group on the floor.
And the next LN foul, they're going to be bonus free throws.
Carmel as a team, 73% from the line. They have taken 4 tonight and made them all. They've all been taken by Harrell. Bremer, shot blocked. But he had a reverse layup and Miller closed the gap. Webster, that pass was deflected, yes, out of bounds to Lawrence North.
I haven't said much or anything about the officials. They've done a nice job because there's a lot of good athletic ability, a lot of quickness on the court. Not an easy game to work.
Bernard Weatherly, Chad Beck, and Sean Lambert, our 3-man crew this evening. Doesn't have to be a 3, but it has to be points this time for LN. Carnes will go for both. No. Cunningham fouled by Bremer. Again, that was the foul to give for Carmel. Possession extends for Lawrence North. Now both teams in the penalty for the final 2:31. Miller will elevate from 15. No. Webster couldn't hang on.
Dickerson has done a really good job of chasing Miller. He's taken some shots, but usually they're under duress, under pressure.
Ball poked away, foul by Carnes, and Fant, who is 7 of 9 from the free throw line this season, will shoot 2.
We're down to probably layups and free throws for Carmel. 2:06 left in the game, and they do a great job of protecting the basketball with the lead down the stretch.
Fant trying to score the first bench points of the game for the Hounds. Averages less than a point a game. Calmly makes them both, does the junior. Back to a 10-point game with 2 minutes to play. This one is almost in the past tense for the Greyhounds. And that won't hurt. Fant racing back. Miller couldn't get to him in time. Fant with 4.
Fant stepped in here late and really contributed to the Greyhounds.
Daniels fouled out. Bremer ties up Webster. Arrow will keep it here. Webster and Bremer just need to be separated just for a little extra. No whistle going in either direction.
Didn't want to give up, either one of them wanted to give up the basketball. You know, at that point, the whistle's blowing, just let go.
Baker and Gilbert get a couple of shooters back in there for Lawrence North. In their earlier loss